So let's see if we can get these 7 right. I might not do all 7. Once we understand what's happening, we might not need to do all 7, right? So let me just take this for us. Let's start off with this stimulus right away. We'll do a lot of questions. I won't do all of these in here. Once we understand the main thing, we don't need to do too many things. Okay. All right. So can you guys see my screen? Can you see that I've pasted this up here? Okay, let's go for it. All right. Now, discipline yourselves, calm down, stop the chat, answer only what I ask you, and then we'll go ahead. Okay. I have not solved this question before. Right. A cruise line is scheduling 7-week-long voyages for the ship Azad. I hope you realize I am reading it out to you, but when you read, don't read it out to yourselves. So when you read out to yourselves, you slow it down. So for example, I'm very conscious of the fact that, W's are to be like, you're supposed to purse your lips for W, and for voyage, you should bite lips. You don't say voyage, you say voyage. So there are 100 hurdles that are there when I'm reading things out. You might have your own hurdles, right? There are some places where I stutter, you might stutter somewhere else. Don't read it to yourself. Don't read it aloud to yourselves. Don't try to articulate this. Just read it so that you don't need to have this intermediary of speech. Whether you read it aloud or not, even if you read it silently, you are still impaired by the speed of your speech. Don't do that. Look at it and read. All of you get my point? Don't read to yourselves. Practice this right from now. Okay. A cruise line is scheduling 7-week-long voyages. Now tell me something. When you see 7-week-long voyages, how many voyages is it speaking of? Or is it speaking of one voyage which is 7 weeks long? Is it a 7-week long voyage or a 1 week long voyage? What is the duration of the voyage? What is the duration of the voyage? Keep that thought with you now. Keep that thought with you. See if you can see that people that there is disagreement, right? Keep that with you. Let's go ahead. Now, calm down. Each voyage, calm down. Each voyage will occur in exactly one of the first 7 weeks of the season, right? So the voyage, if it were a 7-week long voyage, then it would have been 7 week. Here the hyphen is there are 7-week-long voyages. Therefore, here this is 1 week. Remember this. So the hyphenation, another important thing that you should remember. Anyway, let's go ahead. Each voyage will occur in exactly one of the first 7 weeks of the season, weeks 1 through 7. Each voyage will be to exactly one of 4 destinations. You see, these are not meant to be articulated. It's G, J, M, and T. Each destination will be scheduled for at least one of the weeks. Now, there is only one ship. All of you understand there's only one cruise line. For me, it's a ship. Does it matter as to what its name is? Does it matter as to what its name is? There's only one ship. Very good. So you should immediately remember that this name Azad is of no importance to us because we are only going to talk about about Azad's schedule, right? So we don't even think of this name. This leaves us with one ship that has to go on a voyage. There are 4 destinations and there are 7 weeks. So if I think of what is 7 and what is 4, we have 7 we have 7 spots. So this is week number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You have 7 weeks. Okay. Each voyage will be to exactly one of 4 destinations. Now, yes, this video will be uploaded. Yes. So now if you're talking of 4 destinations here, do you mean to say that there will be 3 weeks when there is no ship? Is that where there's no voyage? Is this what you were trying to say? That there will be 3 such weeks where there will be no voyage? Good. It does not say that. What it says is that the destination will be to exactly 1, which means that, let us say if this is your ship. Okay, so this is your ship. This ship will either go to this or it will go to this, but it will not go to M and then go to G. So that's what it means when it says that it will go to exactly 1, right? But it is possible that on week 1 it may go to M, and on week 3 it might go to M, and so on. So I know I'm talking about something very basic, but I hope you make sure that this is clear to you. The meaning of these words such as at least, exactly, these are very critical words when we are dealing with the LSAT. Now we have some rules. Okay, we have some rules, and that's what we'll have to look at now. Let me just lower the chat box. Okay. Let me draw these out for you now. Okay. The following conditions apply to Azad's schedule. Jamaica will not be its destination in week 4. Now you see there are 2 ways in which you could have done this. Either you can have 4 destinations, G, J, M, and T. Okay. And then you can try to fit in week number 4 here. You can try to fit in this week number 7 here. But then I can't really take you through the entire process of knowing as to how this is not the right way to do it. But I hope you realize that when you're drawing the timetable, it's easier for us to have these 7 slots and fit the ship into it instead of having 4 ships and shifting the weeks into it. Are you guys following what I'm trying to say? When you talk of these mixing questions, I think this is what you meant by, this is what is called mixed question. This is what is called mixed question. Yeah. So when you have these mixed kind of questions, like I said, I don't bother about the names. One of the biggest issues is, do I put this into this or this into this? The truth is, you can do it in either way. Okay. If you decide that you want to do it, you can do it either way, but there is one way which is better than the other. And that I'd have to perhaps say is slightly experiential. Because if I were to try to tell you the method for that, we'll have to digress too much. What I feel is that instead of putting 4 slots of ships and then fitting the weeks into it, let us make our 7 slots. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. The reason for that also is that we know that there's going to be exactly 1 on each one of these. So it looks easier. You see, when you have 7 here, there's only 1 on each one of these, right? If you were to have 4 here, then you kind of have 2 in these places. It gets kind of cluttered. You guys agree? It gets kind of more cluttered in this case. So it kind of helps keep our tabulation of this a little simpler. So let's now try to fit in the data. Jamaica will not be its destination in week 4. So I know for Jamaica that it is not week 4. Trinidad will be its destination in week 7. You know that Trinidad will be in week 7. Exactly 2 voyages to at least one to G. Okay. At least one will occur between. Okay. So what we understand is from here that what we will have as far as this pattern is concerned is that we will have M and M. And between that, you will have at least one voyage to G. Okay. So there are exactly 2 to this, and there's at least one between these. Okay. This will be the destination in the week preceding any voyage it makes to Jamaica. What that means is that if there is Jamaica maybe here, then you will have to have G before this. No destination shall be scheduled for consecutive weeks, which means in no scenario can you have maybe M and M, or you cannot have any 2 consecutive things cannot be the same. Preceding means before. Succeeding means after. Okay. Preceding means before. Okay. Now, what I want to ask you is, yesterday in the other class, I told you that there is something which is like before, and then there is something that is called, very good, Dhruv, I'm coming to that. And the other thing is called immediately before. There are 2 things. One thing is before, and the other thing is immediately before. Now, what I want to ask you is that when you're talking about this week here, this before week, is this to be considered as before or as immediately before? What do you think it is? Okay. This is where you need to understand articles a little better. Articles means this a and the. When I say in the week preceding the voyage it makes to Jamaica, this is the definite article, right? If I had said in a week preceding a voyage, then it would have been any of the weeks. But in this case, when it says it will be the decision, like I say, the day after tomorrow. If I say I will meet you on a day after tomorrow could be a day after tomorrow. But when I say I will meet you on the day after tomorrow, there's only one. So this is like the week before yesterday, like the day before yesterday. Therefore, I hope you understand this thing, that this is referring to this exact thing. So I told you in the LSAT, you will not need to know geography. You will not need to remember the names. You don't need to know what a cruise line is. If you think that a cruise line is a car, or if you think that a cruiser is like a bullet, it makes no difference. But if you cannot understand the meaning of that's a problem. So I hope you guys in your preparation are taking care of this thing. And I kind of did believe that you would have made this mistake, so I told you this. Okay. Now, so you know for a fact, calm down with your questions, calm down. You know for a fact now that you will see G and J as a pair, right? G and J will be stuck to each other. Okay. The other thing that you know is that if J is not here, then G cannot be here, right? So G cannot be in the 3rd position. So we've got some data from here. So let's look at let's kind of reorganize what we have. Let's kind of make it a little smaller so that we are clear with it. The first thing that we know is regarding our 7 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We know that the 4th position is not J. The 3rd position is not G. We know that the 7th position is T. And we also know that when you have M, okay, there is a suggestion that somebody's given me, and let's talk about that now. One of you said G. Okay, let's kind no, that was the wrong point. Okay, so we have this with us here. Someone said that J cannot be the first position. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Can I say that J cannot be the first position? Can J be 1? Yeah, this is exactly one. Can J be in the first position? You see, the statement tells you that G will be before J. In any week that it makes, in any voyage that it makes to Jamaica. That means if it's to make a voyage here, then can you have G here? Again, there is division of thought. If you have, let's say, if there is J here, we know that there will be G here. This satisfies the criteria here. If I put J here, is it any one of the voyages that has been made to J? Yes. So you can't, even if you can have J twice, let's say you have J here, here it should be G. If you have J here, then you should have G before that, right? So the other thing that you can infer at this point, good, is that the first one cannot be J. The first one cannot be J. Okay. So we kind of know, and also we know that between this M, you will have G somewhere. Okay. Now, if you think, let's look at the questions now, because we need to keep this much with us and now look at the questions specifically. Let me see if I can just copy this much. This is what we have until now. So this is what I think we have been able to draw from what we've seen until now. Now let's take the questions. This was prep test 1. Okay. Was there one more condition that I have missed here? Someone was saying there's a last condition. Yeah, no destination will take place for consecutive weeks. I think we can remember that. To codify that is kind of hard, right? So we know that nothing is going to happen consecutively. So let us now have a look at the options. You know, sometimes you might have a bad option. Like for example, if I find that J is in the 4th position, for example, I eliminate that. If I find that there is no G between two M's, if I find that there are no two M's, now for example, and if I find that maybe there's no T in the last one. So let's see, is T there in the end of all of these? Yes. Is, let's look at option A. Do we have all 4 destinations? We don't require to have all 4 destinations. Is there a consecutive thing? No. Is Trinidad last? Yes. Is J in 4th? No. Is G this looks to me at this point something that's acceptable. Okay. No, it says that whenever there is a J, there has to be a G before that. So at this point, this looks acceptable to me. So I'll mark this with green. Let's go ahead and see what else we have. If I'm wrong, I get back and look at it more closely. Here I see G. Okay. Now some of you might be thinking, let's look back at this now. Should you, when you look at this option here now, where there is G followed by M, is that a problem? Is the G followed by an M a problem? I'm glad you understand that. You see, when there is a J, there has to be a G before that. You see, when there is a J, that's what we realized, that whenever there is a J, there needs to be a G before that. But when there is a G, what has to be after that has not been spoken of. Like I told you yesterday, if you give me 2 rupees, I eat an ice cream. But if I eat an ice cream, I dance, I sing, I catch a cold. So what does the presence of G do? I don't know. Okay. We can only, so if I showed you yesterday and I've shown you the contrapositives thing, and if I were to show you that in little detail, we know that if there is J, then there is G, right? The contrapositive that we get from this is, if not G before, then not J. But we cannot say what happens if G, then what? I cannot say. When you know if J, then G, if J not, if G not, then J not. But from this data, we cannot say what happens if G, and we cannot say if J not. These are things we cannot do. If you don't understand this, make sure you look at the video on contrapositives. Did I make sense to you guys? Was this too much for you? Did I make sense? Okay. So I hope you understand that this thing is not a limitation. Okay. I can go faster with things, but it's pointless for me to go faster. So as of this point, I have no issues. Okay. But if you see here, between the two M's, I do not find the G, and therefore I can eliminate this. This is very simple. You see, it only requires you to be calm, collected, and composed. When you see Gode Lob, don't get stuck with that. Just think, what are you missing? Take your time, you'll get it, right? Then we look at, don't give me the answer. Don't give me the answer. I'm solving it, right? So don't give me the answer. And don't tell me, only tell me what I ask you. Tell me no more than what I ask you. Then we see that we know that J should not be in the first position, so I can eliminate this. Then I look at this one here. We have Trinidad at the end. Do we have a G between the M's? Yes, we do. Do we have a Jamaica before this? But Jamaica is in position 4. So I eliminate this. Gives us the answer A. Simple. Simple. Let's look at the next one. Let's not pick 11. Let's pick something odd. Let's maybe pick. Why is C eliminated? C was eliminated because Jamaica was in the first position, which is not possible. Let's maybe pick cannot be true. Oh, it's a different kind of statement, right? Since there is can, we should also see, you see, which is acceptable. Do you see this thing here? Acceptable. Acceptable is the same as saying could be true. When you see cannot, it changes our strategy. So let me do that with you. Let's put back our little piece of information here. Okay. Which of the following cannot be true? Ah, It's so simple. You see that Trinidad on the 7th week, if you had it in here, it's not possible. Rejected. Do we want to look at the other options, or should I go ahead to the next question? Okay, I'll go ahead. Let's maybe pick. It's a simple question. It looks like, let's take the last question and then perhaps pick another question set. We've understood this. This was not challenging. Not very challenging. Okay. This is a different tone again, which must be true. So we first saw which could be true. This is exactly why I've taken the must be true. Okay. When I say, now again, remember the process of must be true questions. Calm down. I'll do 13th also. Just calm down. Calm down. When I say must be true, what is your approach? Your approach. Don't interrupt. Instead of saying sorry to interrupt and interrupt, don't interrupt. I'm here. If you want me to stay after the class, I'll stay after that. Okay. Abhi shant ho jao. What we have to do is, whenever you have a must be true question, when I say it must be true, you know, Ankit is the kind of person who gets every question right. Ankit must get every question right. You know what you do? You try to keep giving me a question until I get one question wrong. Right? So when we are seeing whether something could happen, and I'll do one could question. Suppose there is something given here, I put that. So for example, it says, which of the following could happen? This could happen. It is possible for G to be here. It is possible. So, you know, I put this. In a could question, we put this. In a must be true question, we try to put everything apart from this. What I mean to say is, let's say, for example, we have 7 positions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 positions. Sneha Bacha, I'm telling you right now. Don't worry if you didn't understand that. When I'm saying that which of the following must be true, what I'm trying to say is that it must happen that either G should be here or G should be here. That's what we're trying to say, that this must happen. If this must happen, then this is the right answer. But then I am trying to eliminate the options. I hope you get the point. I am trying to eliminate the options. Therefore, to eliminate the options, I will see, oh, is it possible for me to put G here? Because if I put G here and it looks acceptable, if something apart from this is acceptable, suppose you say, the boy I marry must be 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. I show you one more. He's 5 feet 7. You are like, okay. It means it is not compulsory for that thing to happen. I can eliminate that option. You say the person, my friend must be a lawyer. I show you some economist. You say, oh, this can be my friend. So that's what you try to see. Can he be something apart from that? When you're solving a could be question, the thing is, could your friend be a lawyer? Yeah, let's put it and see. My friend is a lawyer. And then I solve the question. It's possible. My friend could be a doctor. My friend could be unemployed. My friend could be anything. But when I'm saying it must, I hope you're getting the process. If you don't, spend more time on it. Even if you solve one question properly, it helps you. So what I'm trying to do here is, G makes a voyage either in week 1 or in week 2. Obviously, the possibility of both is not there. Why is both not there? Like week 1 or week 2 cannot be both. Why not? Because it will be consecutive. Good. So we are trying to look at this. So now what I want to see is it possible for me to put G somewhere apart from the first 2 positions? And you know what? In this, one of the previous things will help you. If I go back here, maybe it could have helped. Is this acceptable? Which one was acceptable? Here, if you can see in option A, G is there in the 5th position. I hope you're getting my point. We just saw in the previous question that there is one acceptable schedule here. But can I ask you something? Does that help me eliminate this option? Does that option help me eliminate the option? It doesn't help me eliminate the option because it says that Azad makes a voyage in week 1 or week 2. Apart from that, it may also make in week 5, right? This does not say that it makes only one voyage. If it had said that Azad makes only one voyage to G, then in this case, I could have eliminated. But you see, look at this here. Here it's making in the first week as well. So I can't use the previous question to eliminate. So I'll have to kind of use some effort. But what I wanted to tell you was that sometimes the previous option helps you out. So just be mindful of that. In this case, it is not helping us out. Did I make sense to you guys? Did I make sense? Sometimes the previous option can help you. Therefore, don't let your previous labor get wasted. But in this case, my previous labor did not help me. So let me try to put G somewhere else. Let me try to put, with the rules that I have, let me put G neither here nor here. Let me try to follow the rules that I have. I know that there has to be T here. There has to be no J here and no J here. So let me put J here maybe. There should be no G here. So let me put an M. Let me put a G here. Let me put an M here. And that leaves us with what? 1, 2, 3. Which is the next alphabet? I think I've put all of them. So now I can perhaps have a T here and I can put a G here. This works. Right? This works. Is there a problem with this? Oh yes, there's a problem here. There has to be a G before the J. There has to be a G before the J. I think now this works. This works. So this is possible. So if it's possible, it does not necessarily have to be true. And therefore, I eliminate this option. Right? Have the politeness not to tell me the answers, please. Have the politeness not to tell me the answers or to tell anyone else the answers. Let's go to here. Stop your comments for the time being. Azad, like I said, don't unnecessarily write things to me, Ashwin. It's impolite. I'll take your point after this. It's distracting. Don't do that. Azad makes a voyage to either in week 1, either in week 2, or else in week 3. So he says here that Azad makes a voyage to M either in week 2 or week 3. So now what I want to see is whether I can put it anywhere else. That means it should be neither in. Oh, yes. Ashwin, you are right. I get your point. I'd made a mistake. And I would have found that, but Ashwin, you pointed that out, right? Ashwin, can you write your thing to all? That's why I'm saying write it to everyone. Don't write just to me. Write it to everyone. Let me tell you a mistake that I did. Okay. So what I did in the previous thing was I think I wrote J here and I put G here, right? But G is not supposed to be in the first position. So by having erased my main thing, I forgot that G should not be in these two positions. So let me again realize that if G is not in these two positions, then I need to realize that J cannot be in this position, right? And you cannot even have J here. And I cannot have J here. So the first three cannot be J and the first two cannot be G. Okay. Which means that let's say if I put, and we already know the fourth also cannot be J. So we know there's T here. You have two positions for J. If I put J here, I can put G here, right? Then I can perhaps put an M here. I can put an M here. And then I can put a T and I can put a T. Any issues here? No issues. Oh, there's, I mean, two, it's consecutive. So let me just maybe put an, I cannot put an M here. So let me put an M here and let me put a T here. Right, let me put an M here and let me put a T here. But M is exactly only two. So I can't put a third M. You see, I can't put a third M. So that's another problem. So let me, you see the heat has been turned on. Must not questions are hard. There needs to be an M between the G's. If I put an M here and I put a T here, I cannot put a G in this case here, but can I replace this by another T? I can put another T here. Oh, one of you is asking me as to why G cannot be first. G cannot be first because this is what the question says. Because the question says that G should be in week 1 or in week 2. Right? So here, this looks acceptable. No, it's not acceptable because before J, you should have a G. So what I'm trying to, what I kind of find here is, if I were to, let's try it again. Let's say I try to put T in the beginning of this. Let me go for it again with the constraints. If I put a T here, I can't put T again and I can't put this. So this definitely has to be M. I can't put G here either. Okay. So that gives me only the option of another T. I already have a T in here. If I put an M here and I put a G here and another T here, and this looks acceptable. G can't be in third position because we've seen this already, right? The common rule is that J is not in fourth position. If J is not in fourth position, G is not in third position. But I have put no J in here. I have put no J in here, but does the question say that a destination is scheduled to each? You see, each voyage will occur, each voyage will be to exactly 1. It says each voyage will be to exactly 1. There is no condition that each destination has to be touched. There is nothing in here which is the statement according to you which says that you have to go to each one. Read after Trinidad. Oh yes, each will be scheduled for 4 weeks. Okay, there is. My bad. My bad. So this is also not possible. I'll have to put a J. So if J is not in here, then I'll have to put a J. I can't put the J here because it'll have to be a G. So let me put a J here. I get a G here and I put an M here. This looks fair. This looks fair. Right? So if you have to have a J and there has to be a G before that, we've done that. There's one G before exactly 2 M's. So this works, which means that I will perhaps reject this because I have this with me. Okay. Now, if you say, why is this taking so long? There are many reasons for it, including my incompetence, right? Not every day is the same. And I'm seeing chats with a lot of things happening simultaneously, but then I want to show you as to how you take yourself through the method, right? These are obstacles and I have no choice but not to lose my, not my cool. I have no choice but not to lose my cool, you know? Okay. That's why I tell you that don't lose your cool. If you look at what my chat box looks like, people are saying whatever they have to and they're running here. I'm teaching, but I have no choice but not to lose my cool. We have to kind of maintain that. And if I attach too many things to, let's say if I add more things to the question than is related to the question. For example, if I think that, oh my God, I've said something now. The more the layers that I add to this, let's say I start feeling indignation because somebody tells me that you're wrong. All of this complicates the simple process of solving a question. And I have to fight that too. So when I tell you don't bother about what happens thereafter, it is one higher truth indeed. The other thing is that it is the only way of being able to solve these questions with some amount of poise. Do you realize there's nothing I can do to speed up what I'm doing? If I try to speed it up, of course, if I was solving by myself, perhaps that could have been a different thing. But I can make excuses. Let's not make excuses. Let's confront what you don't know. Ansh, I know. Don't talk about uploading and all of these things. I hope you're getting the point. Not everything. The reason I do this live with you is so that you get to see this. Otherwise, what happens is that you get to see a different product. And practice this by yourself. Let's look at option 2. I'm hoping that we've done justice to the first option. Also, what happens is after the first option, we have some practice of doing this, right? After the first option, we have some practice of doing that. And thereafter, you'll automatically find that you're getting faster. So hold your nerves. Don't bother about what happens after this. So if I start associating my credibility and reputation with a question, it becomes a problem, right? So you don't associate your failure not getting into a college with this. Stick to the question. So we again stick to the question. I get myself back from wherever I've gone. I don't know if you can see that there's a bit of a frown on my face right now. Can you see that? Can you see a bit of a frown on my face? Yes. So that's a problem. This frown is a problem. And we must learn what I have to learn. I have to learn what to do to get rid of this, right? Because so one of the other day, one of you said that, hey, it's simple for you. It's not simple. It has to be made simple. So let's try to get back to doing this. Okay. A makes a voyage to M either in week 2 or in week 3. The other thing you realized was that after you've read this one, you better comprehend the previous option, right? Because that's what makes things nuanced. Like I said, first time I ask you, recognize Ankit, you will say Ankit is this. Next time I show you somebody like this, exactly like this, oh, then you have got to take note of the color of my eyes. Then you've got to see the shape of my ears, the make of my headphones, and so on, right? So when you look at the next option, it impels you to go back and look at something with more detail. The same thing happened here. And there was a student had pointed out that I'd gotten it wrong. I wasn't very willing, but then when I look at this, then I realized that, oh, I need to look at it more closely. So let's look at this now once again. Makes a voyage to M either in week 2 or in week 3. So now we add this thing here. For us now, the condition is not M and M. It is not M and not M. So I hope we get this point, right? So for us, the condition has now become, here we don't have M, here we don't have M. Most important thing about a must be true question. We know that this is not J, that position 3 is not G, that position 4 is not J. We also know that T is in here. What we can now, somebody's suggested a method, but I can't see that. You can see it. If there's a suggestion somebody's made, you can see that. Just so don't write just to me, but avoid writing right now. You have these things, do it later on. Avoid writing, just think. When you talk, you dissipate energy. Don't do that. Okay. I want to see if I can put M somewhere else. Can I put M here? If I put M here, I know I have to put a G somewhere. That G is not going to be here. Then maybe I'll put my next M here. I can't put a J here because I can put a J here and I can put a G here. Okay, so we had two M's already. If I put a T in here and I put a J in here, we have our T here. This looks okay. Unless I've missed out on something. Don't talk about uploading and all of this, please. Don't talk about those things. J should have a G before it. So let me just replace this by G. Right? So this looks okay. So this is acceptable, this is possible. There's a J, there's a G before the J, and therefore I cross out this option as well. Now let's look at the next option. You know what? These look like very likely answers because it doesn't require too much thought. I don't know if you get this, but these look, Bhumi, please don't talk to me about yesterday's session and all of this. Please focus on what's happening right now. Azad makes at the most 2 voyages to G, which means we want to put a third. We want to see if there can be a third. So we first keep what we have from the main one. If I can manage to put G thrice, then that's when we can have that work. So we know that T is here already. G cannot be here. And if I have to put G 3 times, I obviously cannot put a G here because the G has to be in between an M, right? No, it's not necessary. At least one of them has to be between an M. So I can put a G here as well, actually. Let me put one G here. Let me put one G here. If I put a J in here and I put a G here, because now you have a J. No, I'm taking off G. I'm taking off G. Wait. You have a G here, right? And I need to put one G in between the M's. So maybe I take an M here. If I put a G and I put an M, then this looks okay. This works, right? So if this works, perhaps this is acceptable and I will have to eliminate this as well. Now we look at Azad makes at the most 2 voyages. Azad makes at the most 2 voyages to Jamaica. That means you want to put a third Jamaica somewhere, right? So we have T here already. Abia, don't tell me the answer. The answer doesn't matter, it's the process. Okay, so let's say we are looking at J is not here, J is not here. That leaves us with 1, 2, and 3, right? We can, if I can put J in all 3, that is the only case in which it is possible. But then if J were to be in 3 positions, it will have to be continuous. And therefore, for this simple reason, we cannot do it. And like I told you, I just remember this while I was solving this, that the options that look like this are generally the easier ones, the easier looking options, and at the most are kind of easier to do. You get the point? So according to me, 17 should be D for the very simple reason, because you cannot put a third J. I mean, there's no way in which you can have 3 J's. Okay. Let's perhaps pick one more question from here, or we can perhaps go to a new set. Let's first check the answers of this. So we had 11A. Did we do just 2 questions? 11A and 17D. This didn't feel like 2 questions. This is section 1, 11 and 17. (11A) and 17D. So the answers are okay. Did we do 12 as well? Okay, 12 is what A? Was that A? I'm hoping it was. Okay. Let's pick another prep test and another set of questions. Somebody's saying, Manya is saying question 11 to 16, prep 3. So let's just take it. Prep test 3, 11 to 16. No, I've selected. Now, how can I do so many questions? I'll perhaps do that in a video. Prep test 3, 11 to 16. Okay. An industrial, I'll be sending you this on the Telegram channel today, so don't worry. That's why I put the channel. I'll send you all of these prep tests on the channel. An industrial channel पे डाल दूंगा. An industrial electrician attaches exactly 7 components, okay, to a circuit board in exactly 7 consecutive steps. That means one component is attached per step. Each component is attached exactly once and is attached either by hand or by machine, but not both. Which means that we are looking at something that has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're looking at these 7 steps. You will have to fit in 7 of these components in here, exactly one component per step, and underneath each, so you will have either like T as something, and underneath that you will have either hand or machine. That's roughly what your table is going to look like. You get the point? Oh, if I've done that before, then, but I don't remember. We started it right now, so let's just do it. If I've done that before, I've forgotten. So we can still go for it. Because I've begun this now, it'll be too much of a waste of time. I don't fancy doing questions I've done before. So it's no challenge for me either. And then the class ceases to be genuine. All right. You know that this is going to look like H and H or H and M, H or M, and so on. Okay. So let's now go for it. Each component is attached exactly once. Now, X is the 4th component attached. Exactly 2 components are attached by hand sometime before X is attached. Exactly 2 components are attached. This exactly is a very important thing. Suppose it says that 2 components are attached before X. 2 are attached. That doesn't mean that a third cannot be attached. I hope you get this point. When I say that 2 things are possible, that doesn't mean that there can't be a third. Because like, I agree to what you're saying. Kind of think of it like this. There's this very evasive way of being able to do something. So when I was kind of your age or a little less than that, so let's say my parents would go out and I was at home, my parents would tell me to study. It's a very strange pressure that people have to take, and I that's why I kind of desist from putting that on you. So they'd call up and ask me, what are you doing? So you'd call up, and we used to have landlines at that time. We didn't have mobile phones. So what I'd do is that I would have been doing something else. I would have called a friend over or something like that. When I'd pick the call, I'd keep a book in my hand. Okay. So he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm studying. It's the truth. You see, but that doesn't suggest anything else. Right? So if there are 2 components before this, it's true. But if there was something else before that, it doesn't matter. That's kind of how you've got to, that's the kind of skepticism that you need to have when you're reading this. Right? My goodness. Okay. So there are 2 components before this. So I know that there is exactly 2, which means neither more nor less. So I know there's kind of an H and an H reserved for these 3 places. 2 hand for this. No component is attached by hand before T is attached. That means, let us say wherever you have T, wherever T might be, before T, you only have things that have been attached by machine. W is attached sometime before T, which means we understand that W has to have been attached by a machine. Okay. Y is attached at some time after both Z and S. So there's Z and S. It can be a certain number of positions and Y is here. Okay. As a principle, let us say something is immediately before something else. Let's say Y is immediately after S. Make a code that you will block them together like this. But if it says Y is after S, just put it like this. Makes sense? You get what I'm trying to say? You can, yeah. So how I said is that, you see, W is before T, and everything before T, nothing is attached by hand. That means it's all attached by machines. W is attached before T, therefore W is by machine. That's why. Okay. Now, we have only this much information with us. And now let's go ahead and see as to what we can do once we add the questions. You know what? Once you've spent some time on this, you will find that you don't even need to keep that piece of work handy with us. This much remains in our memory. Let's just take these questions and perhaps solve 3 in one go. Don't answer until I ask you to. Focus on the question that I'm telling you to, so that we keep the class a little fruitful as a combined experience. Which one of the following could be an accurate list in that order of the 3 components attached? So just to remind ourselves what we'd seen until now, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? We know that amongst these 2 positions, 2 have to be by hand. We know that W is attached by machine, right? So we know there's H and H, 2H is not good. H and H is here. And we know that the 6th component is attached by hand. Okay. And before, and X is the 4th component attached. And I think that's, and we have W after T. W is before T, right? So we know that this is before T. And Y is attached sometime after Z and S. Which could be the first 3 components? When you're solving a could be question, what is your strategy? When you're solving a could be question, what is your strategy? I'm asking you what your strategy is. When you're solving a could be question, what do? You just put that in and see if it works or not. Place and check, put and check. Could be means put and check. Good. So what I'll try to do is that, suppose I have these 7 here. No. We see if it's possible. I put and check here. If I put W, T, and S here, I see if this works for me or not. What might be something here that is a trouble? W is attached sometime before T. Y is not spoken of. X is the 4th component. There is nothing here as of now that troubles me. No component is attached by hand. So W is attached, that's fine. So this works, this looks okay to me. That this looks that it could be. So you know what? I think the answer is A. Let's go and look at the answer once we're done with this. If we are wrong, we can get back. If I've made a mistake, we'll go back and see. As you can see, today is not my best day, but we still learn from that. Now, let's look at the third condition makes the answer wrong. no component is attached by hand before T is attached. No, it's fine. That's fine. Let's look at 12. Which of the following components must be attached by machine? That means what we are trying to see is, can this be attached by hand? Can this be attached by hand? Hand, hand. If any of these can be attached by hand, then that's wrong. But we know already, we've seen that W has to be attached by machine. So B is the answer to this. Simple. Let's look at question number 13. If V is the seventh component, just take this off. If V is the seventh component attached, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that the sixth one is X, just for the sake. Was that the sixth one? No, the sixth is attached by hand. So if you know that V is the seventh one attached, each of the following could be attached by machine except. So now this becomes a matter of T. You know, as you can see, so this is getting a little cluttered. What I'll do is I'll remove the other things from here. Let's remember 11A and 12. This is 11A and 12B, right? I'll remove the other things from here. Okay. So what we have here is, and I'll not be looking at your charts for a moment. If V is the seventh component attached, each of the following could be attached by a machine except. So now we have to look back at all of this. We know that anything that is there before T has been attached by machines, right? Which means if anything could come before T, that would have been attached by a machine. That's something we already know. Let me just see if S could be attached by a machine. That's what we have to see. Can S be attached by a machine? So I have to fit in a few things here. I know that amongst these two positions, we have H here. We know that this has been attached by hand. We know that X is the fourth component attached. W is attached at some point before T, and Y is attached after Z and S. Okay. If I, here what I'm trying to say is, each of the following could be attached by machine except. That means we are trying to say, could this be attached by machine? 3 of these can be attached by machines. Only one of them can be attached only by hand. So I'm trying to see here, can S be attached by a machine? Okay. So S cannot be in the sixth position, as you can see, because S has to be, here it's attached by hand. Give me a moment, I'm unable to think. You see, this is live. The struggle of the examination lies in this, that your mindset is not the same every day, but you've got to find some equanimity. The practice is also this. So this is, so one of you said that this is a question I've solved before, right? And perhaps I've solved it. So the equanimity of the mind and the peace of mind is very important. I hope you see this. And this has little to do with it. Of course, practice contributes to this, but it's an independent practice. Let's go for it again. I'm not looking at your chats for the time being because I can't handle that much information right now. If V is the seventh component attached, each of the following could be attached by machine. Could be attached by machine except, which means which of these cannot be attached by machine? So my question is, could S be in sixth position? Let's see. I know that here it is possible. Can S be in the sixth position? S cannot be in the sixth position because Y has to be attached after this. So S cannot be here, right? We also know that we have X here. The letters are dancing. Let's go through this and then we'll stop the class. Like I don't want to abort the class now. We'll go through this and then we'll end the class. So let's see what happens. If you're getting bored, you can leave because now if you're getting bored, you can leave. Otherwise, you can stay. I will be uploading this without editing it. This is making no sense to me right now. Okay. If V is the seventh component attached, each of the following components could be attached by machine. So which of these cannot be attached by machine? So which of these which has to be attached by hand? That's what the question is. Which of these has to be attached by hand? So which of these has to be in position number 6 is how I'd like to see it. Which of these has to be in position number 6? Because we know for sure that position number 6 is here. So who has to be in position 6? Can S find a place apart from 6? Yes, in fact, S cannot be in 6. So I'll put him somewhere else. Then I see, does can V be in 6? What? V cannot be in 6, obviously. If V is a 7th component, each of the following could be attached by machine except. I'm unable to retain the meaning of the question in my head at this point. Which is the one that has to be compulsorily, so V cannot be here. So V is also out, right? So V is also out. Now I see if X is also out. Simple question. The answer to this is Y. Okay. Let me tell you what just happened here. You see, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what just happened here. You see, as far as these three positions are concerned, the first three positions, you know, 2 out of those have hands. So let me tell you how to understand, how to comprehend this, since it went really slow. Are you guys here? Some of you still here? Are some of you still here? That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Right. Okay. So you see, it says each of the following could be attached by machine except. Each could be attached except, which means you're basically saying which one cannot be attached by machine. The meaning of cannot be attached by machine is that it has to be attached by hand. The meaning of that thing is it has to be attached by hand. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm getting my reasoning fully right, but you know, there's only one place where I can be sure that it cannot be by machine, and that is position number 6. If you see in position number 6, whatever sits here could not be attached by machine. Whatever is here could not be attached by machine because it has to be attached by hand, right? So if I find something, if I realize that this does not fit in here, that means it's maybe here, maybe here. So maybe it could be attached by machine. Then I try to fit V into this. If it sits here, maybe it could be attached by, if it doesn't fit here, then maybe it has to be somewhere else. It could be attached by machine. So then I realize that none of these three options can sit here. For example, let me show you. If I were to put S in here, if I were to try to put S in here to see, S cannot be here because Y has to be after S and there's no place for Y. So I just remove S from here. Okay. Then what I do is I look at V. Oh, V is already here, so I remove V. Oh, X is already moved, I remove X. Y is the only one which can come here. So the only one which could, you know, be in this place where the position is fixed. The only one that has the possibility that it has to be attached by hand is Y, because the others cannot sit in this position. Did I make sense? Did that make sense? Why does V have to be last? Because that's what the question says. Now, where we could kind of get trapped isn't thinking about this 2 and 3. You see, this was a problem here. This was data that wasn't required. I didn't need it for solving this question, right? So let's look at perhaps the next. Let's pick up one more thing from this. Let's pick up one more question, and then we can perhaps stop for today. Let me discard this. Let's maybe take. Let's take a must be question. Must be questions are kind of harder. Not necessarily, but let's just see. Let's maybe take 15 and 16. After which we'll stop for today. Mm-hmm. Which of the following must be attached by hand? There are 2 ways in which you can decide whether something must be attached by hand. What are those 2 ways? The 2 ways through which you know whether something must be attached by hand. Either it has to be before T or it has to be position number 6, right? If it's before position 6, if it's on position 6, here, we know it is attached by hand. The other way that we know, no, it's the opposite of that. No. No component, so it's M before that, sorry. So we know that it must be attached by hand if it's in position number 6. Now we know that how is W is attached sometime before T. So W is attached by machine. We need to see as to which one of these exactly two components are attached by hand sometime before X. So if this is X in the fourth position, we know that there are two hands here. Okay. Is T something that must be attached by hand? You see, if T were I'll show you something. Anything before T has to be attached by M. You get this point? Anything before T has to be attached using a machine. If W is before T, then W has to be by machine. Suppose I put T here. I cannot put W here. Could you guys get this point? If I put T in the third position, you cannot put M here. That means I cannot put T in the third position. It's an important lead that I get. I cannot put T there. So I will have to put T maybe in one of these three things here. Okay. Let me see what I can do with V. There's no such thing about V, so let me not bother myself with V. Does X have to be attached by hand? I'm not sure. Does Z have to be attached by hand? Y is attached sometime after both Z and S. For something to be attached by hand, let me say I try to put no component is attached. I just did something wrong. I did something stupid, sorry. What I did here was that I used these two as T. That was a stupid thing to do. There are two positions before this. So if I don't know what I said just now, I'll go back and revisit that. I uttered some garbage here. Ignore my garbage. Which of the following must be attached by hand? No, I think I was right there. If T were here, then these two would have to be, no, it was not garbage. It was okay. But that gave me no conclusion. If T is here, what is it that has to be before? No component is attached by hand before T is attached. Oh, God. I missed the most obvious point. You see, if out of these, two of them are hand, okay, and no component is attached by hand before T is attached, T will have to be the first. I realized that very late, but am I right? No, I'm not. What am I doing? Oh, T is not first, for heaven's sake. Okay, let me try to. I'll stop at 15. I'll stop at 15. Which of the components must be attached by hand? That means I'm trying to say, can T be attached by M? Which means, can I put T? Which of these has to go in the sixth position? Can I put T here? No, I cannot put T here. Because then no component is attached by hand before T is attached. So you have two hands here. Oh, that means, oh, that's what you do. W is attached before T. And W is attached by machine. And out of these three, two are H. So T is attached by hand. And whatever comes here is also attached by hand. Therefore, T is attached by hand. Simple question, but you see it. Out of these three, two have to be attached by hand. Yes, the recordings will be on YouTube. You see how simple it was? The answer was staring at us, but your state of mind prevents you from seeing it, right? And therefore you need to learn how to draw the correct inferences from what you see. So 15 has got to be A. It's a very simple question. Okay. So if you guys were seeing it, good. Okay, explain again. What I said here was that when you look at all of this here, if it says here that before X, two things are with hand, okay? And then you say nothing is attached, that W is attached before T, that means W and T, obviously not a block, but W and T will have to be somewhere like this. If I were to put T here, then these two would have to be attached by hand, but nothing is attached by hand before T. That means if I have to put the hand has to come here, because hands can happen only after T. So that kind of tells me that, oh, T, but then I know W is before T. So then I kind of put it like this here, W and T. W is attached by machine, that becomes fixed. These two positions are fixed for hand. T is in this position, and therefore T has to be attached by hand. Did I make sense to those who asked? Right. We disperse or we do 16? Disperse or we do 16? Okay, we do 16 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If S is attached by machine, then which of these should be true? 1 second. Okay, if S is attached by machine, here we have hand, we have W and T is fixed. Very simple detail that we didn't see earlier. This is machine, this is hand, this is hand, this is hand. Okay. If S is attached by machine, that means S has to be either here or S has to be here. I hope you get this. You guys follow? If S has to be attached by machine, S has to be either here or here, because every other place is either taken up by something else or it has hand. Okay. 1 second. But we know that Y has to be attached after Y has to be attached after S. Therefore, I cannot put S there. So if S is here, so if S is attached by machine, then S is here. So now I look at the options. Does the option say that S must be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. So if S is in 5th, what can I say? Now Y I know is after this. But to say that it has to be 7th position, right? Or it can be in 6th position. But if this is 6th, let us say, because if Z is here, then Y could be here, right? Or if Z is here, Y is here. You get the point? There are two alternatives. We know on the basis of what we have, we know that if S is here and Y has to be after it, there are two ways in which it can be after it. First case is you assume that Z is here. This is case number 1. Let me draw case number 1 with green. That Z is here, in which case maybe you can keep Y here, and then you can keep whatever remains in this place. That's the first case. That means the first case is that Z is attached by hand. The second case would be where I kind of think that since Y has to be after both Z and S, I put Z here and then I put Y here. Again, Z has to be attached by hand. That means in either case, Z is attached by hand. So 15 is A, 16 is A. Right? So we will have a look at the answers to what we've solved. So we did 13. The answer was, what was the answer to 13? What was the answer to 13 according to us? D. So it was 13D. And then we did 15 and 16A. 13E, 15 and 16A. This was section 1. What? Yeah, 13D, 15 and 16A. It was okay at least. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you for staying with me through this. Sectional target. Yes, I'll send the questions on Telegram. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'll take sessions tomorrow on arguments. I'll take that for arguments tomorrow. There's no sectional target. Try to get 45 to 50 questions out of 90 right. You see, it's not easy.